Warning, the following audio transmission will forever change your outlook on society. You will no longer believe the narrative. You are about to wake up and see things for what they really are. News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. The website, www.jestersvoice.com. Everywhere on social media, @Jester Dooms. Welcome into the show, everybody. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day so far. Hope you got that good cereal, like that good. Remember that cereal that you used to crave when you were a kid, and you've become an adult now and you don't really buy the kid cereal anymore, but every once in a while you get that craving for like Fruity Pebbles or like Sugar Smacks or maybe Cocoa Pebbles, or maybe it's Lucky Charms, or maybe it's like Golden Grams, or like Corn Pops, or Reese Cup cereal, or Cocoa Puffs, right? You ever have those weird cravings? Like every once in a while I'll get one. And it, for whatever reason, it's like, it's Frosted Flakes. You know, Tony the Tiger and the Frosted Flakes. Like I get a craving for the Frosted Flakes. And I don't really eat that kind of shit. So it's like I just let the cravings pass. But I hope you got that good cereal today. You got the Apple Jacks or something. I hope you got it. I hope it came with a good cup of coffee. And then, man, another breakfast thing I crave from childhood. I don't even know if it's still made anymore, but there used to be this Philadelphia cream cheese. It was like a Philadelphia whipped cream cheese that had fruit in it, like blueberry and strawberry. That shit on a fucking bagel was a fantastic breakfast. And it just wasn't the same on toast. It didn't work on toast. You couldn't do it on the toast. It had to be a bagel, right? Man, that was another good one. Ugh. Breakfast of the past, man. It's all history now. Anyway, I hope you do get that good breakfast. And then I hope that your day goes swimmingly. Positive energy, positive vibes for everybody. Keep karma on your fucking side, man, as you move forward throughout this shitty ass work week. Hope everybody had a good Monday. My Monday consisted of just a lot of running, meetings and water issues on the homestead draining and repriming lines and just a lot of stuff. And I made a new friend though. So I think I made a new friend yesterday. So this is kind of cool. So with the cost of everything rising, it makes sense for people to start doing more DIY things, right? And I absolutely cannot stand working on my own vehicles because I don't have a proper garage or nice concrete to put a creeper down on. So anytime I want to do something on a vehicle, I'm doing it laying on gravel or I'm doing it in the dirt, and it fucking sucks. I hate it. I can't stand it. All right. It really fucking blows. So long and the short is we started realizing two of our vehicles needed oil changes. We went down to go see what the best deal on oil was, and I ended up buying the oil and all of these things. Well, I met a dude while I was at the auto parts store who's into import cars. And we started talking and shooting the shit. And, he has the same car I do. So it furthered the conversation. And he was like, hey, man, there's a car show this weekend if you want to go. And I'm like, looking at my wife, looking back at this dude, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go to the car show. So that's on the agenda for the weekend, is to go to the car show and hopefully meet other people in the realm of the import cars that I'm into. So that's pretty cool. I'm kind of looking forward to that. And this dude's like, yeah, man, I have all these expensive hobbies. I like my imported cars and I like to shoot guns. And I'm like, fuck this. Okay. I think I just found my new best friend. So go hang out this weekend at the car show, go kick it with this guy, and maybe I'll enter my car in the show. It's a $20 entry fee. My car is not what you would consider a show car, but why not? It's like the entry is like for a donation for something, like it's for like a good cause, I guess. So why not? We'll enter for $20 and, maybe we'll get a trophy or a ribbon or, a thanks for showing up. Here's a sticker thing. Who fucking knows? But we're going to go. We're going to enter the car show this weekend, I guess. Anyway, so as you guys are trucking about your morning, I do want you to take the time to come and join me on TikTok Live. I will be in there running the excavator and doing random things around the homestead. So if you wouldn't mind, at Jester_Dooms on TikTok, come in and shoot the shit with me while I'm running the excavator, because I have a lot of dirt to move tomorrow, and I got to make this road a little bit better than I've got it right now. Well, actually, a lot of bit better. I have to do that so I can get the trucks and dump trailer and stuff back down through that area. So that's on the agenda for tomorrow. Yes, we're going to go piss away at that and hopefully move the dump trailer into place and essentially get loads of dirt in the dump trailer just to move them about, I don't know, 50 feet and dump them so I can get a nice pile of dirt going for moving and refilling places later with dirt. Yeah, that is the plan. So come join me on that. Got a little bit of phlegm going on today. The weather change, man, is just tearing me up. This warm, cold is just making my sinuses and everything drain and go ballistic. And I found myself last night. So I wake up in the middle of the night, like sweating. And I'm like, why in the fuck is it so hot in here? Mind you, it's like 20 something outside. I opened the fucking window. I'm like, what is happening? Like the house was just like sweltering. I had no clue why, but it was, and it was hot. And I was like, yeah, I am not about this life tonight. And man, opening up that window and feeling that cool breeze, waking up in the middle of the night sweating, I was like, man, oh, that's fantastic. So anyway, yeah, that's what's happening in my world. Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed yesterday's show, you missed the code word. With that being said, we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, Producer Scooter here. First off, thank you for downloading and participating in the wide world of Jester Doom. Please be sure to check out JestersVoice.com website. Everything you want to know is located on JestersVoice.com. If you're looking for salacious details, it's on JestersVoice.com. Don't forget to share the show with your friends and even with all your enemies. And now, back to the musings of Jester Doom.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. Okay, so the email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com, the website, gesturesvoice.com. Go on there, leave me an audio message on the website. You can do that. Everywhere on social media, at Jester Dooms, and give me my 1 week IRL, in real life interaction. Tell somebody about the Doom Daily Show. Friend, coworker, dog, hairdresser, mailman. Tell people about the show so they start listening. That's what you got to do, okay? All right. On the Epic Times article here, Minnesota, Illinois sue Trump admin over ICE deployments. All right. Let's get into this. The state of Minnesota on January 12th sued the federal government over its recent surge of immigrant and customs enforcement agents to the Twin Cities, arguing that the surge is unconstitutional and unlawful. Illinois unveiled a lawsuit on a similar grounds on January 12th. The Minnesota lawsuit, which lists Department of Homeland Security DHS Secretary Kristi Noem as the lead defendant, was filed first. It asked courts to end the surge in Minneapolis and Milwaukee and block similar actions in the future. In quotations, we allege that the obvious targeting of Minnesota for our diversity, for our democracy, and our differences of opinion with the federal government is a violation of the Constitution and of federal law, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison said at a news conference on January 12th. Now, hold on a second. Let me put this in perspective for you guys for a second. First off, ICE has been everywhere, operating within like every state. Okay? They're not targeted. They were just on the fucking list. Okay? The other thing I would like to point out is that we are the United States of America. Okay? So that means federal law rules over all. Okay? Federal government is the end all be all. You benefit by that by having a military that protects this nation. You benefit from that, from having borders being protected. You benefit by being a part of the United States. You cannot go out there and say, oh, well, they're messing with the diversity of our state and our democracy of our state. Like, no. You need to understand you're part of the whole gambit here. I get and it's really weird when you talk to foreigners and they look at the size of our states and the size of our nation and they're like, it's really odd that's all governed by one guy, because it's not how it works in other places. Like, other countries are the size of our states. So it doesn't make sense to other people. And when you look at it in this light and you realize that, hey, you have an alliance with the U.S., like we protect you from foreign enemies, so you better nut up and shut up and do what we're saying kind of thing. You get me? So you can't pull this, oh, we're just trying to be diverse and democratic and leave us alone. Like, no, that's not how this works. Anyway, to continue, in quotations, we allege that the obvious targeting of Minnesota for our diversity, our democracy, and our differences of opinion with the federal government is a violation of Constitution and of federal law, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison said at a news conference on January 12th. We allege that the surge's reckless impact on our schools, our local law enforcement, is a violation of the 10th Amendment and the sovereign laws and powers the Constitution grants to states. We allege that the DHS use of excessive and lethal force, their warrants, racist arrests, their targeting of our courts, our churches, houses of worship, and schools are a violation of the Administrative Procedure Act on arbitrary and capricious federal actions. I know I'm not saying that word right. Go ahead, crucify me. Go to the website to do it and leave me an audio message. In response to the Minnesota lawsuit, DHS said Ellison is prioritizing politics over public safety. It is really outstanding that the left can miraculously rediscover the 10th Amendment when they do not want federal law enforcement officers to enforce federal law, which is a clear federal responsibility under Article 1, Article 2, and the Supremacy Clause, and then go right back to federalize every state responsibility possible when they get back in power. Spare us, Assistant DHS Secretary Tricia McLovin said in a statement. President Trump's job is to protect the American people and enforce the law no matter who your mayor, governor, or state attorney general is. That's what the Trump administration is doing. We have the Constitution on our side on this, and we look forward to proving that in court. In its lawsuit against the federal government filed on January 12th, Illinois accused the administration of unleashing an organization bombardment on the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago, causing turmoil and imposing a climate of fear. Because let's break this down. We didn't have a climate of fear during the fucking pandemic, right? We didn't have a climate of fear after the George Floyd incident, right? We didn't have a climate of fear 3 years ago on January 6th, right? We didn't have a climate of fear 9/11 of 2001, right? There wasn't climates of fear. There wasn't a climate of fear after the Oklahoma City bombing, Ruby Ridge, Waco, all the different shootings, Columbine, Sandy Hook, Stephen Paddock in the Vegas shooting. Like, there's always a climate of fear. There always is. And where was it? Was it Arizona that was overrun by illegals for years with no help from the Obama administration? I think it was Arizona. So you mean to tell me for a second this is your new climate of fear? You're going to use this whenever every single thing that has happened in this nation within the last 30 years has been a bigger, more in your face, close to home, knocking on your neighbor's door threat. Comply with law enforcement and you will be fine. End of story. It is not rocket science. It's a very, very simple thing to understand. They have a job to do. Let them do their job. Once they're done, they'll be on their fucking way. The end. Uniformed military trained personnel carrying semi-automatic firearms and military-grade weaponry have rampaged for months through Chicago and surrounding areas, lawlessly stopping, interrogating, and arresting residents and attacking them with chemical weapons, the state alleged in its lawsuit. All right, I was in Greece last summer. I'm walking around downtown Athens, and I see law enforcement walking around with MP5s. That's a hell of a fucking weapon for a beat cop to carry, just walking down the street. An MP5? Come the fuck on. And I asked my wife, I said, is there something going on that we're missing? And she goes, wow. I was like, they're literally walking down the street with fucking MP5s. Like, that's like something a SWAT team would carry, not just your regular average everyday cop. And she goes, well, no, it's not that there's anything going on. It just helps keep the peace better. So in theory, you see them more heavily armed, people are going to fuck around less. So every once in a while, I guess they say, hey, we're going to carry some MP5s today. Just let the public know we're still in power. All right. So, listen, we'll be right back after this break. Okay. We'll be right back. Producer Scooter, hit that button, sir.
Can't get enough of Jester Dooms? Check out his other show, It's Doomsday Podcast, available on all podcast platforms. That's It's Doomsday Podcast.
Back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. Sitting across from me, thousands of miles away, is the lovely, talented producer Scooter, and he smells kind of nice tonight, almost like stale beef jerky. It's fantastic. So, this fear of climate, I don't think Americans have any idea how good they actually fucking have it. All right? There's many other countries out there where you do not have the freedoms that we enjoy. You are not able to post certain things on social media. Fuck, you're not even allowed to access certain websites online. We have a very lax government in this nation. We have a very lax set of rules and regulations. Basically, you can get through life just fine if you follow a couple of basic rules and regulations, okay? Pay your taxes, make sure your insurance is up to date on your car, go to work, come home, and just don't break any severe fucking laws. Okay, every once in a while, somebody's going to do something stupid and they're going to break a law. Like you're going to get into a bar fight every once in a while. All right, you're going to get a speeding ticket every once in a while. Don't kill, don't steal, don't touch kids. You'll be fine, right? That's it. And you will make it through this life with little to no fucking issues. And do you know why that is? Do you know why? It's because we impose punishments for fucking up. It's because we have law and order. It's because we have a government. It's because we have law enforcement. This is the reason it is the way it is. This is the reason why. So you have all these people up in arms about the ICE thing, realizing that a lot of the people here are already criminals. Okay? They came into this country illegally. They violated law. They violated our rule of order. Okay? And now we have to fix it. And we are fixing it. And you, ladies and gentlemen, you haven't seen things get bad yet. You may think it's getting bad, but it's not bad yet. Because what's going to happen because this is my foreseeing of what's coming, okay? What I foresee happening is ICE is going to move through. They're going to get all the compliant people out, as many as possible, okay? Once everybody has left here just with basic, regular guides and they're cordial with law enforcement and they exit this country peacefully, okay? They're eventually going to start running into areas where there are cartel members. They're going to run into gangs. They're going to run into shit where there's going to be all-out bloodshed in the street. That is what's coming next. And the problem is, and this is the fucking problem, again, everything through kid glasses, they're giving you something to be upset about right now, okay? Because they know shit is going to get worse. Now, the people in power want to keep the drugs, want to keep the things flowing into this country. They want to. So they want you to get upset and shut this down before they get to the big fish that need to be fried. You got me? Is it making sense? So if you come to my house and you see 50 chickens running around and you see me butcher one for dinner, oh my God, Dooms, you killed that poor chicken. I can't believe you did that. That is so insensitive. You prick, you asshole. And you're going to try to save all those fucking chickens, right? Because you saw one go down. So you're going to want to save them all. But the reality is, and what you're not thinking about is that, what am I going to do with these 50 chickens if I don't get rid of them? What is going to be the outcome of that? They're going to kill each other off. They're going to die of disease. Like, they have to go. It's for the greater good that I start taking them out, that I start, butchering these chickens for food. It's not for the greater good for me to say, now I'll just keep 50 chickens as fucking pets. And I know that's a little bit of a piss poor analogy, but by you trying to push ICE out now, you're paving the way for the cartels to get stronger, for the narcos to be sending more shit in. That's what you're doing. And that's what a lot of this is about. But you're not seeing it that way. Not yet, but you will. Because here's the problem. Somebody just doesn't wake up one day south of the border and says to themselves, you know what? I think I'm just going to try my luck go break into this country illegally with only the clothes on my back and hope that I fucking make it. No, they had a connection. And that connection had a connection, and that connection had a connection, and that connection had a connection. And it was probably the cartel that got that connection over here. And they're growing numbers. All right. And I mean, you got to really understand that it's not so much of keeping the cartel members from coming in. They're already fucking here. They're already here. There's a handful of videos and possibly a documentary about a cartel that has taken over Native American land in California. And in these videos, in this documentary, this local law enforcement officer speaks on how bad it is and how bad they can't do anything because they have no jurisdiction on Native American soil. So the cartels are thriving. So what do you do when the cartels start realizing they could operate on Native American soil and nobody could do anything? Like local law enforcement can't touch you. Then what? What happens then? Because they're learning, they're figuring this out. They're figuring out a way to make things work in their favor. I understand these people are human, and I understand people are sensitive. But at the same time, I understand what is for the greater good. And the greater good is to start getting everybody out of here, all right? And then once they're out, target the known drug offenders, the known cartel members, the known gang members, and start getting them out as well. That is what is for the greater good, in my opinion. Okay. But trust and believe when I say that you're going to see things get worse, you're going to see things get worse. And I would love to know what the outcome of this lawsuit would be. Do we just not offer this state federal protection anymore? Do we not offer them federal funding? Who knows? One thing I'm surprised we haven't heard yet happen, and it might be on the horizon, is certain states seceding from the union to avoid ICE coming into their state. Because if you're no longer a part of these federal United States, then you're no longer subject to federal anything, which means no ICE is entering your state. Now, you're scratching your head right now thinking, shit, Dooms, you're right. I wonder why no state is seceding from the union yet. Like, if they don't want ICE in there and they're sick of these policies and this administration, why don't they just secede from the union? Like, I get like federal funding and all that stuff and being protected by the military, but if it's a landlocked state in the middle of the country, who cares? Like, what are they going to do? Go through all these, coastal line states to invade a landlocked state? Like, would they have to worry about war on their soil? Probably not. So it sounds really good to secede from the union. But you know what you have happen? And why no state is doing this? It's very simple. It's because they will become the safe haven for immigrants, for illegal immigrants. They will become that safe haven. So if, say that New Mexico says we are going to secede from the union because we don't want ICE in here. We don't want to abide by federal policy anymore, and we're seceding from the union. All right. Every illegal in this country is going to flood to that state, and they will be overrun, and they won't be able to handle it, and they won't know what to do. And in the back of their minds, deep down, they know that. So that's why they won't. So it's all great for public affair to say that, hey, we're against this, that, the other. But if they really wanted to put the steps in place to really get away from this, they could, but they know there's consequences that come with it. So they won't. Like how we heard all these celebrities talk about, if Trump gets in office, I'm leaving the country. They're fucking still here. They didn't go anywhere because they know that the alternative of leaving this nation is not a good one. There's things in this country I do not agree with. But you're not going to see me just give up my fucking citizenship and leave this country with my tail tucked between my legs. Fuck no. And when these celebrities talked about this shit, it was funny to me. Like, you're really going to leave everything you have in life and go start anew because a guy's going to be in administrative office for 4 to 8 years. Do you know how many people deal with shit for years that they don't want to deal with? You know how many fathers go through custody battles for years? You know how many couples get divorced and go through litigation for years? Do you know how many business owners get sued and have to start at new again because they fucked up or someone pulled a slip and fall bullshit? And they didn't say, fuck it, I'm leaving the country. Life got hard. Like, no, they didn't. So I just want everybody out there to start coming to the realization that 2026 is already off to a fucking wicked start. It's probably going to be a hell of a crazy year. And with ICE sweeping through the nation, you bet your fucking ass you're going to see some bullets flying. And these morons, these fucking idiots that are out there getting them more riled up and giving them more of a threat in the street are only egging it on. That's all they're fucking doing. Does anybody remember a kid by the name of Kyle Rittenhouse? Anybody remember him? Of course you remember him. He's still in the media. He's still doing shit. Believe it was Kenosha, Wisconsin, is where that shooting took place. I think. I'm trying to remember, I think. So Rittenhouse came out victorious from his trial from the media, like everything. Is he still probably getting death threats and shit? Yeah, I'm sure. Sure he is. But the events that were taking place in this country around that time with the riots due to the George Floyd death, okay, that was incited by the media, by the way. Our fucking U.S. media incited that bullshit because they had the full body cam footage and could have released that at any fucking time, and they did not. They showed what they wanted for media attention, riots ensued, and then they ended up showing the rest like a week later, 2 weeks later. Now, this motivated people like Rittenhouse to go out and hit the streets with a fucking rifle and be like, we have to protect this nation because shit's getting fucking bad. So what the fuck do you think is going to happen when these idiots keep going out and protesting and fucking with ICE? And then you have red-blooded Americans standing up saying, well, I guess we're going to go protect ICE now because shit's getting fucking bad. If you show up to a fucking protest with a sign and a bullhorn and I show up with a fucking rifle and a tack vest, who do you think is coming out victorious? I'm just saying. It's not going to end well for anybody that's on the opposing side when push comes to shove. Take a friendly piece of advice from me. Leave it alone, let them do their job, and they'll be on their fucking way. With that being said, we'll be back here for another episode of the Doom Daily Show tomorrow. Producer Scooter, if you would, sir, hit that button.
News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.